Laws of logarithms. Okay, just like we have laws for exponents, we're going to have laws for logarithms. So if we remember, you have log, this is the base, this is the answer to the original problem, this is the exponent. So that was the base to the exponent equals the answer. Just so you can remember. So when we had similar bases, we added the exponents when we were multiplying. We subtracted the exponents when we were dividing. And we multiplied the exponents when we were raising a power to a power. And those same idea is going to come into place. But remember, this whole thing stands for an exponent. And so that's going to be the key point to go back to. So it connects into the other laws. Some of you just may have to write these down and get used to practicing it. We're going to be practicing it basically this whole week with little different pieces. Today it's just the basics. The first rule is the product rule. Log base 5 of 3x. Is there something being multiplied in my parenthesis? Yes. We get 3 and x are being multiplied. We can separate them out. Log base 5 of 3. And when we separate it, we are going to add. So remember, when we were multiplying bases that were the same, we added the exponents. Same idea is going on here. So the product rule says I can expand it out. This is the expanded form. This is the condensed form. So the expanded form is when we separate everything apart. The condensed is when you have one log, just one log, and everything else is spread apart. Remember, they had the same base because this number matches. That's important. That number has to match all the way across. The quotient. So, what do you think I'm going to do when I expand this one? Well, I'll subtract. So, anything that's in my denominator is going to have a minus sign in front of it. Anything in my numerator is going to be positive. So I can actually put more terms in there and have anything that's in my denominator is going to have a minus sign in front of it. Anything that's in my numerator is going to be positive.
So is the 3 an exponent to the 5, or is it just like a number beside?
Okay, so what that really is, oops. I was making up another variable. When I fish it, that's 5 to the a equals 3 over x. So that's me raising 5 to some power and coming up with 3 over x. It's not going to happen. I've just chose numbers that will be easy to distinguish where they are, not for the purposes of actually solving it. There is a way to solve this, but we're not getting there today. Today we're practicing just expanding and condensing and learning the rules. Next week we'll be solving. And so the next one is the power rule. And so this is if base 5 of x to the third. And you notice that I put parentheses around my thing that I'm having after my base, my answer portion. That's so I don't lose what's connected together. When it's something like this, where it's a single term, it doesn't really matter, but if you have something being multiplied, it helps. So this is one where we take our exponent and we're going to bring it to the front. So 3 times log base 5 of x. Then we have just some more on that power rule I wanted to go over because this is one that throws people off a lot. Log base 5 of the square root of x. What is that the same as? X to what power?
1/2.
1/2. So log base 5 of x to the 1/2. Remember, power over root. It's being raised to the first power. The root is 2. So now, when I expand it, that's what it looks like. So, a lot of times people don't see what they can do here, but remember, anytime you have a radical, that is a fractional exponent. Convert it to power over root. So that may be something you'll be using tonight or this week. So keep that in mind. Okay. So let's say I give you log base 10 of x minus log base 5. And I ask you to condense it. What am I asking you to do? Put it together. I didn't have to write the 10 because it's understood if I don't write it. Just like we're counting in base 10, log base 10 is understood. So that would be log base x over 5. And I'm done. Today is simply going to be applying each of these rules. And let me do one other one that, just because the formatting of it will throw people off at times. Oops. Log base 3 of x divided by 7.
Is it 3 to the x, or it's 3?
The 3 is the base of the logarithm. So that's the same thing as 1/7 log base 3 of x. So what happens here?
Square root.
So that becomes the exponent. We can't leave it in this format because we can't leave a fractional exponent and we can't leave a negative exponent. So what's that fractional exponent going to become? Power over root. 7th root of x. And that's the answer. So there are going to be a few that are a little bit more complicated. But it's learning how to see the pattern of what's there. Log base 7 of A plus log base 5 of B. Can we combine these? These don't match. We can't combine them. I'm not going to throw that trick on the homework, but just so you know, those numbers have to match in order for you to combine.